W, honestly, first thing, but just really come out there and get better so we have a better chance at going out and finishing our goal, winning a national.
What kind of challenges do they present? Because they're a heck of a team.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Their D-line is really elite, and their offense is super fast and pretty tricky with some of the screen plays they run. So our defense is going to have to be on their toes. But, I mean, after their performance last week, I think I'm pretty confident in the defense. And, yeah, we got some new schemes and protection set up to make sure we handle their D-line. So that's probably the main thing we're worried about, making sure we keep Nick on his feet.
Okay. Obviously, they haven't really played a tight game. Is that something you got kind of looking forward to, maybe get them in a test and see if they can hang?
Yeah, for sure. So, especially since we've been in at least a couple pretty close games, so we know that we can go out there and finish through those. I mean, being down at half against Benedictine coming out and finishing that off, we know that we can get through a close game. So really to put them in that bind is going to really show how good of a team they are, and we're going to see how it goes.
Yeah, what kind of security blanket is it to have Justin Green knowing what he can do on the ground for you guys?
Oh, Justin Green, Justin Green is something serious, and just knowing that defenses are going to have to play every play and have to cover everything with him, Boz, Rocky, me out there is just it's nice knowing that we got a bunch of options out there for sure.
What do you remember about last year, the Morningside game?
Last year's Morningside game, didn't Justin go for almost 300 yards? I remember that one. Pretty sure we were down 20-0, and that was crazy. I don't think we had been in a game like that, so to see that going into halftime was just crazy to me, honestly. I mean, me not playing much, I got to watch a lot of the games, so seeing that and then seeing how some of the older guys reacted definitely showed me the way of how to be out there and act if that situation were to happen to us.
Do you remember what the sideline was like down when it was 20-0?
Yeah, it wasn't too happy, obviously, but it was a lot of people walking around making sure they were telling everybody else, keep their head in it, like, we got this, we can get back up there, so no one was trying to let anyone else get down on themselves.
What's the attitude been like this week, knowing you guys are that much closer to where you want to be?
Oh, just getting better and just knowing everything's about us, really. It's just we know if we go out there and execute our game plan and play how we're supposed to play, then it's supposed to be our game.
Given that you guys have been in this spot before, does that give you more confidence that you won a semifinal?
Yeah, for sure. Especially the season last year, we definitely have a lot of confidence, but we don't want to obviously get too confident. But we have some faith in our offense, our defense, our coaching staff for sure. So I think we're pretty confident in what we can do.
How much of an advantage does home field advantage give you guys?
Oh, it's been lovely not having to worry about traveling and staying in hotels and all that, and especially with the weather being nice, at least last week, and then this week is supposed to be all right. So the weather being pretty decent is definitely a good help too, and just being here in front of all the alumni and all the fans and all that is just super fun always.
Just another opportunity to get better ourselves. Obviously a chance to go to Florida and play down there. So every game is fun, but obviously this one has a little more on the line. So just an opportunity to prove we're number one.
Okay. What kind of challenges do they present?
They have a really good offense, have some good skill players, and just, again, an opportunity for us to prove that we're in the number one defense. And we believe that they're probably the second best team left behind us. So it's just a point to prove that we're here to win it.
They have a strong passing game. I mean, their quarterback has 4,000 yards. They've got several receivers. Mm-hmm. What do you think is the biggest challenge with their offense, particularly there?
I think they really copycatted a lot of, Northwestern, who played last weekend, them have a lot of the same offense. So I think that gives us a little boost going in, knowing some of their formations, some of the plays they run. And I just think we need to learn from the little things that we had mistakes on last week and grow from that and just prove ourselves.
It was a very strong game last week. As you look back at it a little bit more, did you feel like you guys were close to your best defensively?
Yeah, I think we were. There's obviously places where we can improve and grow. But, yeah, I think that was one of the best outings we've had in a while. And so I think this week we can try to beat that.
Yeah, how do you get up even more this week?
Yeah, I mean, with Final Four, you're obviously up more because 1 week away, 1 win away from Florida and national championship. So I think there's not really much that needs to be said. It's just kind of what's going on.
Looking back last year, Morningside game, obviously you guys were down 20-0. Do you remember much about that game?
I really don't, and I think it's funny. Some people have the best memory, this game on the 50th play. I don't remember hardly any of the games from last year. I remember going into a playoff game being down and kind of that feeling what's going to happen? And we came out and defense made a stand and offense really came back around. I think just like last week, defense needs to have a strong start. Offense will do their thing, and we'll go from there.
Do you guys look at the film from last year?
We viewed it a little bit. We don't really study that,
okay.
But we viewed it to see just some of the things we did wrong, some of the things we can improve on, and just we kind of looked at the speed we had from this year compared to last year, and it's a lot different. So,
obviously, this Morningside team, they haven't really been tested a lot this year. You guys have seen a couple of games where it's been close. You pull it out. Does that help you guys knowing that maybe if they get hit, they could crumble a little bit?
Yeah, I think it helps our confidence a little bit, knowing that when you see their scores and they're averaging, I think, over 60 points a game, something like that, something crazy. So I think some people right away, they're like, well, they're good, we might have a little problems. I think just going in and being your confidence level would be they're not anything special, we can handle them. They haven't had competition like you said. So, yeah, I think it helps our confidence a little bit.
What's the attitude been like this week, knowing you're that much closer to your ultimate goal?
The attitude honestly has been the same. I mean, since week 1, we've known that we're the best team. And just every week we come out trying to prove that. Obviously, since we're our Final Four and 1 win away from Daytona, obviously the attitude is a little bit different. And people are we're this close, we can do it. But I mean, for a lot of us, since week 1, we've known, okay, we're the number 1 team. We have to come out every week and prove it.
How much confidence does playing this one at home give you guys?
It gives us confidence. Obviously it's fun for our fans. And just to play for them. And also, we know it's a little bit different when you have to travel. So, I mean, last week, Northwestern had to leave on Thanksgiving Day. And same this week. I mean, they have to leave Friday, maybe Thursday to get here. So we know that since we get to stay here and practice and have more meetings than they will, it gives us a little bit of confidence.
And just knowing that, the season is it seems like things kind of just blew by. Are you surprised that you're at this point now?
Yeah,
it's finally here?
Yeah, for sure. I was talking to some of the guys the other day, and it's just man, it feels like regular season still. How are we Final Four already? But it's kind of funny to see, when we're that focused and that determined every week, it's just the same. It feels like the same as a regular season. So
you guys obviously have the experience of being in this moment before. How much of an advantage maybe does that give you that you were in the Final Four last year?
I think it gives us an advantage. Obviously, we have a lot of the same guys that were here, but again, for coaching staffs, I know that all the teams left have been close to this point, and so we all know that we're playoff contenders and championship contenders, and so it gives us a little bit of an advantage, but not a huge advantage.
On the other side of things, Morningside, obviously you guys knocked them out last year, so
right.
They're probably a little ticked off about that. What kind of attitude do you think they're going to bring to the table, and how do you guys kind of match their intensity?
Right, I think they're going to come in really firing and upset, like you said, since their last loss was against us here. And so I think they're going to be fired up about that and try to come in and give us everything they got. But we know who we are. We know we're the number 1 contender, and we're going to play like it.
Since I've never experienced it, what's it like putting on the turnover chain?
Yeah, it's fun. Obviously, it brought a lot of excitement, and the fans really got up, and the defense really was into it, and even the offense. A lot of time when we get turnover, it's okay, we'll do our thing now. But the offense was really getting into it, and they enjoyed it. So it's fun. It's fun to see all the fans get fired up, and it's fun to see the defense really come around and have fun.
What does it mean to you to be the first guy to put it on?
Yeah, tradition. That's what I thought of right when I put it on. I was thinking the tradition, because it might stay for a while knowing we got 4 turnovers last week. So, yeah, it was fun.
What inspired? I mean, obviously Miami inspired it, I would assume. Right. But who was the guy that was this is something we should do and have on our team?
Stan Jackson. Stan Jackson was the one. I think his mom had an 80s party, and his mom was like, "Hey, I got this chain," and Stan's like, "Okay, we'll put it to use." So I think I don't know if he did it with a bobby pin or whatever, and put the St. Francis logo on there, and so. Yeah, he pulled it out just before we went out for the game and was jumping around with it, and the whole team was having fun and fired up. So.
And what was it like, knowing that was there? I mean, how much does it give you guys motivation? I know it's just kind of a stupid piece of fake.
Yeah, it doesn't. I think for some people it's like, oh, like we have to get it, and I think it excites a lot of people and it wants people to get turnover more. It really doesn't change anything. Obviously, we want turnovers, but yeah, I think it brings a little fire to some people.
Football team, when you get to Final Four, everybody's good. All undefeateds this year.
Correct.
So something's going to change Saturday for somebody. Steve Ryan's a great football coach, runs a great program. Got a lot of respect for him as a coach, as a person. They got players. They haven't had a close game. The closest game they had was September the 9th. And then that was a Division II team. They've run through their conference in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, and they've been track meets.
Is that a good thing for you when they haven't played anybody, and if you put them in a test, they may kind of crumble, kind of thing?
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know how people are going to respond. They've just been far superior to the competition they've played all year long, and even in postseason. It's going to take a great effort. 60 minutes. We got to play good football out of both teams. You expect this time of year both teams got to play the best, and. They got a great offense. They got playmakers. They got a great quarterback, strong in the offensive line. Running back is really impressive. They're averaging, 50 a game or something like that. They've scored 50 in both playoff games. I said earlier they haven't had a close game. They've dominated their schedule. Common opponent, Northwestern. They had a 28-point win. We beat them by 27. That was the only common opponent. So, they're a great football team. Defensively, same, strong defensive line. We're going to have a real challenge at the line of scrimmage.
What do you remember about last year's game against Morningside?
I remember being down 20-0. And I thought, oh, boy. And we fought, scratched, clawed, came back, made plays, and found a way to win it. I think Justin Green ran for about a mile that day, so he was a big factor. We started slow and then had to play catch-up.
Do you remember what the sideline was like? I mean, was there ever a down moment on that sideline? Down 20-0 to a Morningside team that was probably really, really good?
Can't answer that for you. I don't know. Can't remember.
Okay. How much do you use that game film maybe this year? Do you use it at all?
Well, we've gone through every game film from this year, and we obviously reviewed last year's game in detail. I think they've got 5 guys back on defense from last year, but they've replaced them with as good or better. They got 4 back on offense, or maybe vice versa. Anyway, they got 9 guys back that played last year against us. So, good football team, got great players.
Obviously, it was a comeback win. You're down 20-0. Does it hold a little special place in your heart, being the 300th of your career?
Oh, I guess so. Sure. The thing you want to do is just stay focused each game at a time. It's good win to get to the semis last year. So this would be a big one to have the right to get to the finals.
Kevin, after last week's game, we felt like that was one of your best defensive performances. When you look back on it now, did it rank up there as one of the better ones of the year?
Oh, most definitely. We really played good football on defense. Had 4 takeaways, played well on the back end, and got after it up front. And our linebackers are so quick, it's tough to block them. So when you get down to the Final Four, man, you want to be playing your best football, and defensively where you want to start.
How about your special teams this year and what you've gotten out of them? How do you feel about how that has developed?
It's been solid. I mean, we've done well. Missed a couple PATs during the playoffs, one maybe because of weather. We've got to make sure that that's consistent. A missed PAT, when you get this far, could really be fatal.
What's the attitude been like, knowing that you guys are just that close to being where you want to be?
Well, we've been here before. It's our guys are pretty focused day to day. Get a little better each day. Chance favors preparation, so you got to prepare well. And looking forward to kickoff.
What do you think the environment will be like Saturday afternoon?
I have no idea. What do you think?
Pretty good.
Yeah, I would think so. Nice day, fair weather fans, probably a good crowd.
How would you describe Solsma, their quarterback? What does he do that's effective for him in putting up the numbers he does?
It appears to me he's a good leader, tough kid. He'll try to beat you with his feet as well as his arm. He's a playmaker. So, you know, you can't let him scramble around because he can beat you with those just scramble drill plays. So, good one.
Did you see anything on the film? Obviously, turnovers last week. Do you see the turnover chain? What were your thoughts on the
turnover chain?
The piece of hardware they put around their neck once they got the
You know
turnover.
what? If they're smiling and having fun, it's great.
Were you going to put it on ever?
Well, I didn't know anything about it. And then I found out what was going on later, and I said, yeah, good. They're having a good time. They put a crown on their head if they want to. I don't care, as long as they're playing hard.
Right. That was a lot of energy generated defensively last week, and does that spread throughout the team when you have a defense?
Oh, I think so. They were getting excited. Stan Jackson's the one started. He's Mr. Excitement. I mean, he plays with passion. He has fun. He ignited the thing.
You guys have talked about getting to this point all season, or to the championship, more importantly. Is it kind of wild that it's finally here? It seems like the season's kind of blown by.
It has really gone fast. I mean, I think about, you know, this group of seniors, this is their last home game, you know, my gosh. These guys were the ones that came in, we were struggling. They're the ones that made the commitment to get it turned around. So, you know, 2015, we're in the semis, we win it their junior year, and here we are again in the semis. So their leadership and determination and example they've set has really been something special.
My final question is just about those guys' experience this week. How important is that for your team that you guys have people who have been in this spot before?
Well, you know, experience is invaluable. You know, you got to have talent, but you also, it really helps to have experienced those things before. So it's not something that the aura just grabs you. You know, we've been in a lot of big games and hopefully a lot more. So this is a big one.